Welcome back, Royals. Happy Monday. I hope you're ready for a great show. Tonight's topic is going to be on love and respect. Is dating versus marriage and what the Bible says versus what we think. So, in today's world, we have everybody wants to have that biblical love, the little fairy tale, the little rainbow at the end of the rain. However, we that is until we realize that the Bible has two very different playbooks. There is one for dating, and then there is one for marriage. So, let's say this loud and clear. A boyfriend is not owed the rights, the treatment, and the behavior of a husband. And guess what? To my brothers, because I have brothers, uncles, a nephew, a godson, cousins, and men that I truly love, stop expecting wife privileges from women. You shouldn't have to put a ring on it to get certain things. However, in order to get certain things, you do. And also, listen, let me tell you something. Let me get my microphone because men don't listen. Y'all don't. You pretend you do, but you don't. They shouldn't be paying your bills. If they do, tell them thank you and appreciate that. They don't owe you that. So tonight I am going to have two guests join me as we get ready for this topic. I'm going to have both my best friends join. So Des is getting ready in the studio right now, and then Ronnie will be joining us in a bit. So I will have her introduce herself. Hopefully, when I cut this camera on, she's ready. We'll see. I love best friends. I swear I do. Here we go. Okay,
Hey
she's ready. So
guys,
I will have,
it's
I'll
delicious.
have Deb introduce herself and then we'll dive right in.
Of course, I'm the bestest of the bestest, and I am Delicious Designs by D Honey. Come get your nails done and talk to me because I'm here for you.
Yes. And she actually goes live on TikTok. I am not that brave yet because TikTok is a whole beast, but I will get there one day. I do join their lives, so we will see. So let's start with the word. So in the description, I have in there that you'll get 10 things that the women should follow for the Bible as it relates to being a wife and dating. And then I have 10 things for males as well. I'll put them up on the screen later and you'll have the opportunity to freeze and frame it and take everything that you want as well. I will post them as well. Um, Trigger warning, because baby, I read these last night because I have different people for this show, tomorrow's show, and then Thursday's show. I was offended. I was offended by some of them because there are things that I should not have been doing. Let's get started. Okay, so for the husbands, we'll start with you guys. So the foundation, everything start with a foundation, right? And for those that say the Bible is outdated, I think that's why we're in the situations that we're in, because we try to go against the Bible. Apply it how you want. Nobody is perfect, but we should at least try. Okay. Husbands, love sacrificially, provide, protect, honor, pray for your family, be faithful, and lead with humility. Being humble, it's not just a word. I think people think they're being humble when they say, I'm being humble.
Mm,
But I'm so humble.
so humble.
If you humble, it'll show. Wives, respect, build the home, support, speak wisdom, honor, be faithful, and carry beauty inside and out. What do you think about that, Des, as the foundation for how you should begin a relationship with intention or marriage? Des, blood of Jesus. I can't make this shit up. Yes,
Correct. You
I
cannot.
can't. Because I just asked you a question and you're legit not right there.
I sure totally walked away to
Listen,
shut this
pause
down.
y'all, because y'all gonna get real life. Because you in my house, which is not a real studio, and you in her house. Because I'm gonna cuss her out real quick. This is not your ghetto show where you're in your shop doing your nails. This is a real show. Sit down and get ready.
You are so correct, and I do apologize sincerely
Thank you.
about
I
that.
appreciate it, best friend.
And I'm going to not do it again.
So I would like to say that's a testament to women do hold women accountable. That is a testament to we do say when we are wrong. And that is a testament to we accept apologies and move forward.
Amen. I
Amen.
appreciate
Because she'll check me in a minute. So
it.
let's see. So let's see. There's a reason why these commandments are actually written for marriage. Marriage is for a covenant, not a commitment, but a covenant. That's for husband and wife, not boyfriend and girlfriend. Some of the things we are expecting out of relationships, especially these days, come from a covenant, not a commitment. So again, if you have a girl that is doing extra things for you, appreciate her because she doesn't have to do those things. She's not in competition with anybody. And males or females. If males are doing things for you that are additional, anything under provision, protection, monetary, any of those things, appreciate and respect him as well because he does not owe you those things within a commitment, but instead a covenant. These are not situationships or not Netflix and chill. It's an actual covenant. I will start with the first question for Des. So let's talk about the difference. You tell me if you agree or disagree, and I'll read you husband, then boyfriend, and then you tell me if you agree or disagree,
Okay.
and then why, of course. Okay, so husbands in marriage, he, he is her provider, protector, leader, and covering. If you want to know where those are, that's First Timothy 5 through 8. And for boyfriends in dating, he's being evaluated. He's not your covering yet. He doesn't give full access to your body, your bank account, or your spirit.
I totally agree.
Okay, why do you agree?
Oh, why do I agree? Because a husband has committed to supporting and taking care of you, and you have committed to supporting and taking care of him. That makes you guys a union of one. You share every goddamn thing. There is nothing that you keep from each other. There is no reason that you should be able to keep anything from each other. Because why?
Mhm, mhm.
Why? Why are we here getting married if we cannot commit to the
All
vows
of
that
you're
we
halfway in and halfway out.
correct? Ain't no halfway. It's either we all in or we all out. Period. That's how I feel about marriage. Now, with the boyfriend, due to the fact that I'm an idiot half of my life and I'm great this
And
half,
we're just searching.
I was stupid. I was dumb. And I can admit that, right? Because that's the problem. We have an issue with admitting these things, which is why we cannot grow from these things. I was dumb. I
This
did
is,
not know no better. And when I was being taught better, I chose not to listen. At the end of the day, that is not okay. All
oh,
right. So, with
that is
that
true.
being said, I have learned sharing my body with a monkey ass human that has not committed to me is a dumb idea. And to
Um,
expect for him to take care of me, pay a bill, I have never had a man give me money that wasn't my father.
really?
And just this year is the first time a man has just given me money just because I was me,
Oh,
with nothing in expectation in return. You just gave it to me because you saw that I needed it and you knew I wouldn't ask you. Okay?
but Des, you low key be playing. You low key do wifey things like you make sure.
Exactly. How dumb is that of
Oh,
me? How dumb is that of me to pour all of that into someone who can't even make a commitment in even a relationship? Let alone calling me your boyfriend and your girlfriend. Honey, that is a title that is not necessary. Is you ready to die and marry me or not? It's very
oh,
simple. Because if I choose to marry you, I'm ready to die for you, Biscuit. That is my position and become one with you. I have to let go of I and become a we with you. And you think I'm finna do that for someone for a title of a boyfriend who can't even commit to even communicating with me on a daily basis? And when I want to know what you doing, I'm asking too many questions.
oh boy.
Oh,
Okay, pause
like
right
I
there
said,
because these things will get into the rest of the questions I had. No, y'all, I'm her best friend, and I had no idea from the way that things appear. I don't judge. I don't be deep into any of my friends' relationships. Like I've always said, as long as you don't put your hands on my person not coming to me crying. If they're happy, then it's okay. But I think that's where some of these problems have gotten us. We were happy because we didn't know better. And once we learned better and it went back and reviewed things, it made you instantly unhappy. And so that's interesting. Um, wow, that was a lot.
Hey,
Okay, so
mommy.
right. Mom kind of feels the same way about a lot of these things. So now let's do the wife part. And then I'm sorry, wife and girlfriend. And these are foundational things. So these are dating versus marriage. So wives in marriage, she respects, she supports, she builds the home, and she submits in partnership. That's Ecclesiastics 5:22 through 24, I believe. Girlfriends in dating, okay, y'all, you can show your respect, but submission does not apply until vows are exchanged. You're not his helpmeet yet. You're in discernment mode. You're observing if he's even husband material. So for me, do I agree? I agree 900%. Um, I think that so I have been in a lot of or relationships, not a lot, but I have been in relationships. My most significant and impactful relationships were probably the last three, um, because I was real grown when I was in those relationships, right? Meaning I was done with school, I was done with everything that I wanted to do for myself. So I could really focus on being in a relationship. But even when I was in the other dating or doing things like that, because I have always dated somebody that was also a friend, it does it allowed them certain benefits that they shouldn't have received, right? So I drew boundaries like you can't spend the night all the time. We're not shacking up. It's certain things that I will do in a relationship for my sexual pleasure, but it's certain things I'm leaving for my husband. Still a sin, right? But I just had boundaries into how much I offered and what I was comfortable with, which was a sacrifice for me and then a boundary, right? But being the helpmate, I've never dated anybody and not been a helpmate because I'm a giver. So in my head, I've always followed other parts of the Bible that said like you would give the shirt off your back, do for your neighbor, all of these things. But looking back, I could see where those things weren't such a good idea. Because when you do those things and then you don't, or you exercise your right to say no, or I don't have it, then it's a problem and it's almost expected. And that's where I believe a lot of that, what you won't do, another woman will, came from. It started to be a picking between women, and women began to compete for men. And so you did all of these things thinking that's what you needed to do to keep the man. But to sum that up for the foundation part, did you ask this man if he was intentionally dating you? Because I didn't.
I do now.
I do now. I didn't give a complete shit when I was in school. However, again, the last three I did. Only in the last one, my requirement was we can go from courting to marriage. I did not want to be a girlfriend. I did not want to be those things, but I was okay with courting. But with my husband, that was one of the things that I said from the very beginning. So with maturity, you gain wisdom, you listen, you apply, and you understand why things exist because you have made mistakes. But how much greater would things be if we didn't make the damn mistakes? We just listened to people. If I would have, I could have, live and learn, right? If you knew better, you Des admitted she heard better, but she didn't listen, and that's human, right? Sometimes things feel good, or you're too scared to let it go, or whatever the reason. There is a reason, so we have to forgive ourselves and still move on because it's no different than I made the same exact mistakes and I had a title. What title was that? Though? I did get things, I did get experiences, but they weren't my husband, and it was a waste of my time. Um, Forgot should have. Yes, I should have listened to a lot of things a lot younger. Um, So marriage is supposed to be your job, and then it's actually the greatest job that you'll have above parenthood for me. And then giving the full benefits. Why would you do that? They're still in an interview process, man or woman. You're interviewing for this role. And that doesn't mean you're competing. You're interviewing, meaning like when they tell you at work, show up for the job that you want next, things like that. You actually start preparing to be a wife or a husband before you become a wife or a husband. Like if you're a compulsive cheater and dating multiple people, you don't just stop overnight because you're getting married.
Correct. That man asked me, he said, "Are you a wife?" I said, "I don't know."
You
I
don't
said,
know?
"But I would love to be a wife." I said, "But I haven't even been in a relationship yet." And the reality is, for me, it doesn't take that long.
Okay.
You
So
are needing to
we'll,
make a choice and not an
mhm.
option. So
So
the
we'll get to that.
idea,
Wait, that's actually coming up. That's the
okay,
next one. So let's read the two comments, and that's coming up. And I'm going to let you speak first. And everyone, we have the power the whole time to show them how we're supposed to be treated. Absolutely. Because guess what? Here is the thing that I become very comfortable with after therapy, because a lot of our things that we carry within a relationship really started from family, how you're brought up, how you're formed, all of these things. So you don't get with the man and then he does these things and you accept him and move on. You were already used to accepting it before you got with that man. That's why, or a woman. That's what I believe and what I've learned through therapy. Um, Guess what, guys? If you have a laundry list of things that you don't like, they are your boundaries, they're your hard stops, there's things that you don't want, even in marriage. If that other person says those things don't work for me, guess what? You two have just been honest with each other. You can respect each other and you can cut ties and go in your own separate direction. Every ending does not have to be an ending. You may have developed a new friend, somebody to network with, or things like that, but everybody isn't your person. Every person you dated wasn't your king or your queen and deserved those things. Now it is so many people exhausted because you have done it over and over and over. So I will say that let them go and respectfully remove yourself if that's not your person and your equally yoked things do not align. uh Courting was for a reason. I will agree. So Des, this is for you. So where people mess up. So for I'll start with the man one because you were kind of diving into that. Men, where you mess up is demanding respect, not being obedient, not being loyal when you haven't led, or sorry, expecting respect, demanding obedience, demanding loyalty when you haven't led, provided, or committed to the covenant. So, Des, go ahead.
I think what I have experienced in dating and as a nail tech, listening to everybody else's problems, is that too many of us are willing to give it up for nothing, not realizing how important and sacred that it is. And of course, once you make the foolish mistake, you have opened up a can of worms, and now you're horny all the time. And now you think you're doing him the injustice because you did it because you wanted to, as if to say it's still not tearing you down, as if to say you're not still sucking out
A
the
little bit of your soul is now
not your
tied to him.
soul. You are taking all of his trifling ways with you. You are collecting him. And you're only supposed to collect one, your husband. Okay? So what I'm realizing is you're so desperate to have a title as wife that you disrespect yourself and not make him actually be a husband. And in the option, it's like you keep giving me options. I'm a choice. There is no option in a choice. You chose this. Let's grow from this. And I think I kind of miss the idea of arranged marriages to a certain degree. Not
Yeah.
for not for the worst ones, of course, and the
Right.
abusers, but
Right.
because
Where the two good
this
families got
idea that
together and
you
raised
got
their families.
options.
Right.
No, baby, we committed, and marriage is a business.
It is.
And it is supposed to create an empire for your family so that y'all will never be nothing but great. And so for you to come half stepping in the situation and think that I'm going to submit to you when you can't even submit to God, I don't understand the conversation. You don't even have a relationship with God to tell me that I should follow your lead. I said, hey, guy, what you want to do? He said, well, I'm a just a go with the flow kind of man. I said, oh, yeah? I said, okay, cool. I can do that. I can go with the flow until it ain't flowing my way. I said, then I sat there and I thought about it and I looked at him. I said, babe, you'll go with the flow? You sure? Because you're the man. You supposed to set the tone of the flow in the first place. I go with the flow. You create a flow. We ain't talked since. Have a
But that's
wonderful day.
true.
Have
How
a
can you
wonderful
want
day.
us to submit to you and let you lead when you give answers like that? I'm gonna go with the flow. I don't know. We'll see where this goes. Um,
Sounds like I'm gonna stay single for a long time if this is what you're gonna say to me. Because you sound crazy. And it's like commitment, submit, do what you say. Give you some of my income. I'm working hard to support who? Baby, I'm lit by myself. You have to add value to me for me to want to be in this situationship with you, to even think about if I want to play with you in any form. I don't want to play with you. And what I've learned is the very second you either tell them you're celibate or you ask for some money, they disappear. So I have no problem with this single life right now because I know what you're looking for and I'm not offering it. I'm not offering
okay.
it.
So that's where men mess up. And she gave a recent example. So for women, where women messed up by giving wifely benefits without a covenant, cooking, sex, financial support, and even submission. Um, if he wants to eat, here's the question I have. So if if the men are supposed to lead and we want leaders, and I'm saying we, because remember I'm saying I made all these mistakes. If we're saying we, how come it's typical, or drop a money bag in the comments if this is you, your majority of your girls, or you know somebody and this is their situation. When they started dating a man, the man came to her house most of the time. The man eventually moved in with her. When they had date nights, he came to her house for her to cook, laid in her bed, probably asked her if she had condoms. Um, he probably didn't even bring a bottle of wine and flowers. And then this is the same man that told you that you're too independent, um, that you are confrontational because if you don't agree with things, you voice that. If that has been your experience once or more than once, I want you to drop a money sign in the comments, or if you know anybody in that situation. Women, we have to stop doing those things. If he comes over for dinner, because not everybody has a place, and with this economy right now, several things are happening, even from people with tons of money. They're moving back home to preserve that money, moving in with a roommate. It's different things that are happening, so that you never ever ever shame anybody. But what is wrong with him walking in with the bag of groceries and saying, I would like to cook for you? No, I don't have a home where you can come over and I can cook for you, but I want to cook for you in your home. What is wrong with him coming over and him having because he'll walk around the house like he owns it. So why can't he walk around the house and see what needs to be fixed? Those things, that's not monetary. But we do all of these wifely things. You put on the lingerie, you run the bath water, you get real sexy, you do all of these things, and he is completely cared for like a king. I don't care if it's one time. How many of you have received the same matched energy? And how many have not? But he feels like showing up and his presence is enough. Him being consistent or him not doing things that other men have done. I will say this. We need to let go of two things because this is where we mess up. At least. At least he doesn't. And it's very scary for women because I went down the list with cousin the other day of my at least. At least he's not on a child list, right? At least he's not ever pow-powed anybody. At least he's not a SA person. At least because women, we are the lesser in those type of situations. And those are very scary. So if you get with somebody that at least doesn't do those things and can make you laugh or satisfy any feel-good space, those are temporary feel-good spaces. That's not good. We need to make sure that we are being filled as well. And I don't think that we do a very good job of that. Kicks his shoes off, pops on the bed, and picks up the remote and open the refrigerator door. Does all of that. Um, the other one is that so we say at least, and then um, we say at least, and then we also say it's not as bad as the last one. We have got to stop being manipulated. We really do. And I don't know if they do it intentionally or unintentionally, but I know that it's being done and I know that it's not okay. We essentially give them a roadmap. Why we broke up with the previous person, the things we didn't like, and they zero in on the things that we just were depleted of and did not receive, and they elevate those things. But are they really showing up? Are the checks and balances there? If they are not there, you need to pull back. And if they are angry that you pull back after you express, these are the things that I am not receiving. And I think that these things should be given the fact that we're dating with intent. That's not your person. It's not, because nobody's going to guilt you into feeling a certain way, men or women. Because I've heard some women say some interesting things, and it's not okay. Living like and so for couples, the part where they mess up is living like you're married without being married, creating soul ties, confusion, and that is all what leads to heartbreak. Because if you were just courting and getting to know each other, you wouldn't be like, well, damn it, now I have sex with another person. We've been doing this for a while. I'm used to this person's schedule. I'm used to the flower she likes. I'm used to her kids. I'm used to his kids. I'm used to their family. It's essentially like an unofficial divorce every time you break up with somebody because you're doing so much that you shouldn't do. How do you feel about the couples one, Des?
Baby, I'm single with purpose
Okay.
because how long does it take you to decide that you want to be committed? And what is the reason that you keep thinking you have option to walk away from me? Once I share my body with you, Negro, we is committed.
Coochie contract?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I understand.
Because the giving you the cat is the signing the signature.
Right.
Okay. Back in the day, that was the marriage. You gave it up. Guess who you with? Now you thinking, how is it that there's no documentation and you think you're safe because he said so? How is it that there's no documentation and you think you're safe because she said so? Because let me be clear, women ain't shit either. Okay? So I'm not defending man or woman. I'm telling you, take pride in your penis and keep it to yourself. Take pride in your vajayjay and keep it to yourself. At the end of the day, you do not have to have sex with me to get to know me. You have to have sex with me to ignore my red flags.
Because the lust becomes so prominent. I would leave her, but man, the way she go down, I ain't leaving that one. She a baddie. I would leave him, but the way he take care of me, girl, I work through it.
We eat good over here.
We eat good over here. You see that trip I just went on?
And then he whooped your ass when you got home. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? When do you start looking at yourself and believing that you are enough and you should be in love with you so much that you cannot accept less than what you're willing to give yourself? The reason I am single today is because I put myself in a 3-bedroom house with God, of course. Well, let's be
Right.
clear. God is the only thing helping me along the way. So no matter how
He's
many times
definitely
I say
finding these
what I
checks
did,
lately.
God did it all. With that
Right.
being said, he did it all without a man. I'm committed to God. That is the only thing that's been 10 toes down loyal to me. And he has not yet sent me the man that he feels will be equipped to handle the position that he has placed me in. So therefore, sir, I am not too masculine. I can handle all of these things and I can be a whole lady. Matter of fact, I would love to not worry about who's cutting my grass this week and bend over for you. I would love that. But let me be clear. Why is he at your house? Courting means outside activities. And when we're at the home, there's a lot of other company as well. Like there's
You
no
don't go
reason,
past the living room.
there's
That
no
used to
reason
be
for
a
you to
rule.
be in my home.
Hmm.
You need to learn how to be creative and set the tone of what you would like to do. If you are a broke man, first of all, you probably should not be dating. But if you are a man that has some money, but you don't want the woman to want you for your money, but for who you are, actually be somebody. And then I would want you for who you are and not what you have. Take me on a walk to the park and actually hold a conversation with me that doesn't
Right.
lead to you touching my body. I have to know that you think about more than sex, sir. Because if you're not showing me that you think about more than sex, how can I trust you while I claim you are my man? And I'm not sexing you, and sex is all you think about. How can I trust that you are loyal to me? Loyalty that you don't owe me. You don't owe it to me.
There it is.
And so, therefore, we get this attitude and want to go on a ramshack against a man who only did what you allowed him to do. As a woman, we do hold all the power. So, therefore, even if he raped you, baby, he had to take it. You didn't give it. So, we can fight that.
Right.
We can
And
have
that's
your
not
back
your
with
fault.
that.
Right.
That ain't your bad.
Right.
But for someone who is just giving it away, how do I stand 10 toes down with you, sweetheart? No, I am not judging you. I don't really care. But I want you to understand that you should have cared. You
Okay.
should have cared.
So
That's
let's
it.
go into the next segment.
Yeah.
And it is to close out that one, it is the advice is
This is my
ladies,
favorite.
stop cooking 5-course meals for a man who won't even buy you a $15 marriage license. I think it's 45 in California. Fellas, stop demanding respect when you haven't proven you can handle responsibility. To be clear, the responsibility is over yourself. If she sees that you are taking care of yourself, that is how you prove that you are capable of taking care of her. If he sees that you have your own home and you're taking care of your own bills, and he calls you and says, "What are you doing? I'm cooking myself dinner." That is how you show that you can cook. I'm just saying. So let's take a look at this video. There's just one, and then we'll do the last two parts of the show, which are going to be interesting. The next one is a covenant shift. So I will play the first video. Here we go.
Where are the black men with the recipe for marriage? Because y'all ain't loud enough for me.
We're definitely here. Y'all just don't listen and you're not teachable. I heard a brother say this recently that a lot of men want the position that being a husband carries, but don't want the work that is required to actually maintain and flourish in the position. What that means is y'all don't want to be sacrificial. And I get it, because some days I don't want to be sacrificial. But in order for that marriage to work, you have to die to yourself. You are the head, you are the leader, you are the man of the home. And so you are the one that sets the tone, which means you are responsible for the success and or the downfall of that household. Does that mean that the wife has to come and do her part too? 1,000%. But the reason, the reason we're not loud enough, quote unquote, is because the ones that make think pieces for content, for money, for rage baiting, and for views, it's because they're not giving you sound advice. They're not giving you sound advice because, of course, polarizing advice is going to go farther than the sound, wise counsel of men that are in the fight. And it's not really a fight, but in the thick of being in a marriage and trying to make it as successful as possible. And the number one thing that y'all don't want to do is die to yourself in order to serve your wife or in order to serve the marriage so that the marriage flourishes. You're much more, about to get upset, you're much more concerned about you personally flourishing instead of the marriage flourishing. And to be clear, that does not mean you don't get things that you want. I am not saying that, but I am saying that there has to come a priority list. And as the man, as the husband, there is a certain level of sacrifice and sacrificial love you have to be willing to give out in order that your marriage will flourish and be successful. But y'all don't want to do that.
So a part of protection, provision, and those type of things is exactly what he just said. Husbands, you are the first line. I'll say it a million times. If you follow the Bible, these things will work for you. If you do not, it's okay. Do whatever you do. But this is for people that follow the Bible, right? As best we can. When Eve had the forbidden fruit, God did not go and ask Eve anything. He went to Adam and asked Adam. Because not only was Adam supposed to protect her from the serpent that came, if he would have protected her, the serpent would have never been able to get to her. If he would have been a leader ensures that things go in the right direction. Apply these things the same way you apply them at work. When you are at your real job, in order so that you don't get fired, if you have to tell your best friend who works under you to do something to ensure that the job gets done, you will tell them and you will deal with their attitude and fixing them later. But for the greater good of the team, that job, protecting your income, protecting your image, doing all of these things, you are going to be top notch at work. Men, you need to apply those same leadership skills and capabilities that you provide outside of the home, be it being in the streets or be it being a manager at work, to your home. The same way you talk to the employees with care and concern, because you know if you don't, you will be sued, is the same way that you need to talk to your wife with care and concern, because if you don't, God will not be pleased. All of these things that apply inside the home. Wives, when your husband actually tells you something that, not actually, I'm very sorry, I didn't mean that. I mean, when your husband tells you something that makes sense, listen. Yes, we are the helpmate. They are the brawn and we are the brains, but it goes together. We just have a different type of vision, a different type of that intuition. That intuition is a different type of sight, because a protector can't also have intuition. You need the two to go together. You need one to actually watch over and one to see the blind spots, because you can't see the blind spots and forward at the same time. That's why you need somebody that's equally yoked, so you each know that you're looking for the same things when you're going in that direction, right? Those are the things that you want to see while you're dating, because if you can't make simple decisions, talk about how you would go through life, make it through an argument. If you haven't been through an argument with somebody, you shouldn't be marrying them and you shouldn't be calling yourself in love, because you don't know if you're in love. You don't know if they have conflict management or how they will behave when things don't go their way on both sides. That needs to be discussed. So the next one is the covenant shift. Um, Here's the shift. Once you're married, that's the shift. I would even say being engaged, you start doing a little more things different. I know some people that buy homes and do things like that. I don't see a problem with it starting when you're engaged, especially if you have that reasonable engagement. Like you set a date, invitations have gone out. Because I've seen some 6-year engagements. So that's why I say there's a caveat there. I don't agree. It should be 1 year. So once you're married, those commandments actually lock in. He is your leader, your covering, and your provider. She is your helper, encourager, and builder. The covenant makes it binding. Before that starts, I would like to say one thing. A good leader knows how to be the tail when it's time to be the tail as well. A leader does not mean I tell you what to do and the person does it. That's not what a leader is. Because if it was, all of us would not be complaining when we have leaders at work that are horrible leaders and horrible managers, and they say things and don't listen to us and they're disrespectful. The same way you feel as a man when your boss talks to you like that, and we've all had them, is the same way you make your wife feel, only it's worse because you're supposed to be handling her with white gloves. So it really hurts her. Don't do it. Why? When your husband tells you something that makes sense, or you guys have a discussion and he lands on a thing, even if you think that thing is going to go wrong, learn how to sometimes just let him do it, because sometimes those things need to go wrong so you two can see how you can work through things together. Obviously, not being in the dark over the weekend or not having food or losing your home, but if they have a thing that they want to do, learn how to cheer them on the same way you would a kid that comes out of the kitchen with a strainer on their head, a floaty around their waist. You think it's the cutest thing ever. Allow him to work through the being of a husband. He's never been one before. Let him do that, because you don't have the right answers either. So allow you guys to work together and sometimes learn when it's okay to say, let's try it that way. It's okay. So what do you think, Des?
Mind your business and mind your manners, mind your place. I think that we want titles and don't know what they mean. I think that we jump into things thinking it should be this picture vision that we have, and it's not real. I have realized that I have literally stopped dating because I've realized that
Mhm.
men are more damaged than women in this season, and they are healing and having a hard time doing it because the one they finally fell in love with broke them. Okay, but a lot of times their mother broke them.
It
All right,
starts before you get in that relationship. So,
the mother breaks you, and a lot of times moms use their sons to subdue for the fact that they don't have the daddies, and now they want to make the son their man because of their lack of confidence to be the wife that they should actually be to attract the man that they're actually looking for
of their own.
of their own. Because what's happening is there's a big confusion of placement. The
Okay.
Bible says a lot of things, such as husbands and wives, once y'all get with each other, y'all leave y'all families and y'all cling to each other and create a new family. Parents should stay the fuck out the way. Excuse me for the disrespect if you felt that way, but get out of the way. You supposed to have, when you said I give her away, you said that you trust this man to keep and take care of your daughter, which means it is no longer your responsibility. The reason I make my dad give me money and do things for me today is because I have never relinquished his responsibility. So I
Okay.
shouldn't have to call another man when I still have a daddy, right? And so when you think your kid is grown and you're done, that's not real unless you are relinquishing them to someone else. And the idea that you take out the time to get married and be there for someone and then beat the man down as if to say he doesn't need encouragement as well. Remember, he is human too. He's a human first. He's a
Right.
man second.
Right.
And if he don't know God, he ain't worth the damn to you. because you are supposed to learn from your man. That husband is supposed to pour into you seeds of life that will make you be able to grow whatever he decides he wants to do,
That's
so that
true.
you can stand by him and be committed in this relationship. I think we don't know what it means. So we play with it because we want a title. And now, oh, she gets on my nerves. Let's get a divorce. I don't care if I get on your nerves, sir. Again, as long as we ain't beating on each other, we can pretty much work out anything. And if you don't know how to keep your penis, baby, I know how to pray the prayer over you that tells you that it shouldn't work with another. Lord, let it go limp. And I'm going to pray that prayer with you standing right next to me out loud, sir, because you need to have a clear understanding of what the expectation is. And as you're dating and you finally make it to this place of marriage, there is too much conversation being ignored and avoided because you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, because you don't want to let nothing go, because you're scared you're going to lose. Love doesn't lose.
Oh
Love
man.
don't lose. I don't care what you think or what you say. Like you said, sometimes you will find yourself growing with a friend. You will have the best friend of your life, and that's what your husband should be. So when you feel the need to call your bestie instead of your husband, who should be your bestie, that sounds like a problem.
Right. I married my best friend.
The reality is, when my best friend chose to get married, I backed the fuck up and I stayed out of her way. And I let her be a wife to her husband. And I did not give my opinions. I did not give my concerns. I did not say a word about nothing that I felt or that I saw. Because I know that if you are talking to God the way you should be, he is revealing the way I know he is. Because he's a forever loving God. So if God is actually in it, if he in it, because everything else y'all talking about makes no sense to me if God is not in it. And
Right.
God lives in you. So God should be a reflection of your behavior.
Mm.
So are you a husband and are you a wife? Before you decide to commit to someone that you chose not to truly get to know spiritually. Because I need a prayer warrior. I need someone who knows how to talk to God. I need someone who knows that in the midst of the storm, depression, and silencing the conversations is not the answer. Not the answer. Excuse me 1 second.
So I will go into the next piece. Well, the wrap up for that section is exactly what she just said. Dating is supposed to be the preparation, and then marriage is participation. God blesses a covenant, not practice runs. Um, I believe that He blesses all of our relationships that we have in the right way. And we should pray for protection, all of those things in those spaces. But for the purpose of the title of the show, Dating versus Marriage, he blesses a covenant. You ever notice when you see a couple get married, different things start to happen for them? Hence, they start hearing things like, oh, I see you doing much better now. Or I see you going on that trip now. They even start to notice you different. You start to show up happier. You start to It just makes some people smile. Marriage actually makes people smile that are not of the devil. Even if it's a couple you've never seen before and they an old couple walking down the street, you love to see that couple sitting there and you just want to ask them, how did you stay married this long? And if you actually do stop and ask them, because I know I have, they'll actually answer you. They actually love to tell you those answers. And we need to hear those real answers. Things are changing, but the things that people have been through are not so much changing as they are multiplying. So now, because we have force multipliers, as you call them, we have different spaces where there's more opportunities to do things that you should not be able to do. Um, I will say, in closing out that part, during the preparation space, you really need to not only pay attention to your partner, but you need to pay attention to their influences around them, because marriage in and of itself is attacked very strongly by the devil. That is the primary thing the devil does not want. Why would he want somebody to get together, build an empire, be fruitful, multiply, encourage others, build a community. Why would he want those things? He doesn't. So that's the thing that he's going to attack first. So if you already have spaces outside of you that are, not exactly as respectful of your marriage as they should be, it is going to be very difficult. Leave and cleave is very real. When you leave and cleave, I'll just leave you with this. How many of you that are listening to your parents or an outside force are listening to things that are not within your faith, within your beliefs, within what is good for you? How many of you are doing that? Because I say that because it can be a single person, it could be a married person, it could be a divorced person, it could be anybody if they're following those things, right? Because if you ask me or somebody else, we're going to give the same answer because we're going to a Bible verse. We're going to give the same answers because I know you. So I'm telling you what I know is good for you or see is good for you based on what you said you wanted. Because we got to be reminded sometimes, especially in marriage, of what you said you wanted to remind you, hey, you tripping. You said you wanted to be married. So, hey, homegirl, you my friend. I expect you to still show up for your marriage. The same way you was extra excited to fit in that dress, the same way you went hard to lose those 10 pounds, the same way you carefully picked out your bridesmaids, I'm going to need you to carefully work with your husband. The same way you was patient with all of us because we were in your wedding, I'm going to need you to be patient with your husband. The same way you are wanting him to be patient with you and have understanding because you are a fragile vessel, he is a fragile vessel too. He is now in a lead position under God where he has never been before, and so many have never seen it before. Those of you that are listening to your parents or anybody around you talk about what should happen in a marriage, what should happen in your marriage specifically, and they're not incorporating those things, I would like to know how many of them have successful marriages. How many of them have successful relationships? How many of them have one baby daddy? How many of them have one baby mama? How many of them are doing the things that they're supposed to be doing now? It's not no way in goddamn hell I would take any type of advice from somebody that I see at parent level. If you are double my level or anything like that, that is not on my level. Because you still don't got it right till today. And you're advising me to do everything except the first thing out of your mouth should be get on my knees and pray, talk to my spouse, work it out with my spouse. You already lost me. We already don't have nothing to say. Y'all need to watch who y'all listening to. Just because somebody holds a title in your life doesn't mean that they hold power at all. And the power that you're giving them, they don't give a fuck about your demise. Hell, they don't give a fuck about their own demise. So you might want to be a little bit careful. God don't bless that kind of covenant. And God won't bless you for intervening in a covenant as well. So for wrap up, lessons and takeaways. Don't practice your covenant in casual dating. So before I got married, I started working with an evangelist. That was my choice, an evangelist and a therapist, because I wanted the biblical things that I should be doing. Because from being by myself for so long and taking care of myself, all of these things is so many things that I was just accustomed to doing. Not that I wanted to show disrespect of any type to my husband, but I was so accustomed to doing them that you don't know the difference between what you should relinquish, when you should call for help, things like that, because I got married at 36. So that doesn't make sense. Even with men, when they need to learn how to not be the lead and actually be a little softer, they will need time. So I went to those two people, right? Immediately, the evangelist, child, I got a list. That list even told me to stop buying stuff for myself because it was offensive in the way that I do it. And y'all want to know what I did with that list? I worked on it. And I received those things because for me, it was, I've never been a wife. And she had been married before and her marriage did not end because of her. So she had been married before as well. So I took the advice because I figured, what's the worst that could happen? None of these things that I'm going to have to relinquish actually hurt me. So it's okay with doing it. Now, did it take a whole lot of practice? Yes. Y'all know we got Amazon on our phone and shit. It was hard. But with the therapist, I went back and I wanted to work through all of my childhood things that I began to normalize that should be traumas and how they show up in my life. So not anything in particular that I knew that hurt me, right? I'd already been to therapy for the murders, the losses, all of those things. It was things that I'm like, that's not normal. Because believe it or not, that's why grace is given. I only know what's around me. He only knows what's around him. You actually don't know that these things that happen on TV are real until you sit back and you like, okay, I didn't know that. I'm completely desensitized to that, or I never even thought about that, right? Your opportunity to let, what did that man say? A part of yourself dies and a new part of yourself is born, because you can't become one if you maintain your singleness and your independence in that way. It's not fruitful for the marriage. So that's something that I did to practice marriage before my covenant, but it was for me to benefit the marriage. What's something that you would do, Des, before you're actually doing it now? What are you doing now to prepare yourself in the event that you decide to get married?
I'm being celibate. I am communicating to get an expected end. I am not sugarcoating, I'm not lying, and I'm going in honest. I'm
Okay.
going in letting you know sex ain't what you need. I need you to show me that you're worthy of my body. And that would only require you to take out the time to really believe, show me who you are, and that I should be able to trust you in that way. And again, I love what you said. Like it was clocking T to the ultimate power. Sweetheart, it is all about what you're already doing for yourself. That's how I trust you. That's how I believe you. That's how I see God in you. It is your behavior. So for me, right now, being one with my Father is how I'm preparing. I feel that sometimes God sees fit to hide you in plain sight. I know you can't believe that you have met that many people and ain't nobody the one. That makes you feel a way. That messes with
It
your
does.
insides. It makes you feel like, am I ever going to have? Am I worthy? But then when I
Right.
think about the fact that I have worked so hard to climb the top of this mountain by myself,
Right.
how dare I allow you to make me climb down to pick you up? I think that you should do better in reaching the top of this mountain.
Ah,
And I don't think that the mountain means I'm better than you. I think the
right.
mountain means that you see yourself in a way that you see where you can grow and be beneficial, and where you can see how I would be the table in your relationship rather than telling me, what do I bring to the table? You see, I am the table.
And you're better for you. Again, it starts with you.
It starts with you. So I
Mhm.
have to be able to trust you with yourself. I have to believe that you can depend on you to get it done. And then, and only then, is it worth me taking out the time to get to know you any further? Because what I will tell you guys, just a little hint on life. You don't have to really talk too much to a person to know them. Actions speak louder than words every single day. And so, oh, you don't know me. Yes, I do. I know you how you treat your mom. I know you how you treat your children. I know how you treat your parents and in your job. That's how I know you, baby. That's how
I
I
know you how you
decide.
treat yourself.
When
Because
you
if you're
take
offended
out the
by me
time
wanting
to
you to
see
do
that,
better, that's crazy. I want better for you. So you don't want better for you? You're offended that I want better for you. I didn't ask you to do anything. Well, what you're going to do for you is going to be better for you. I didn't tell you I wanted you to do that so you could do something for me. I told you I just see more in you. If that offends you, you show me
I
how you feel
literally had
about
a
me.
friend. I saw my friend struggling, but because my friend is the opposite sex, and although you are a well kept person and has been catered to your entire life, you lost everything. I gifted you something. You know that person left the gift with me because they didn't even know how to receive that, because they thought I felt less of them, when I really just gave them the gift because the gift came to me and I didn't have no use for it, but I saw that you could. But because you so less in thinking of yourself, because you think so less of yourself in this season. You cannot perform for me. So get off the dating scene in this season and heal. I think healing is necessary for everyone. Men are struggling, women are struggling, families are struggling. Stop. It is a very sad thing for me to be able to tell you right now in my life today that every man that has honestly been there for me has been somebody else's. Not sexually. This is not sex. Because again, I'm practicing abstinence. I'm good with that. I've actually become friends with these wives because I need to use their husbands because I can't get a man to perform. So where you think I need you to have money, I need you to have skill. I make money. I need you to lighten my load where I'm not paying for everything because my man can handle that. I want you to step up to the plate.
That's a provider as well.
Okay, so it's not always about breaking you down because your finances is not where they need to be. Your mental is not where it needs to be. Your spirit is not where it needs to be. So your body is following suit of what's going on the inside. So I think that we should slow down with getting a title and really taking out the time to talk to God. If you think that's the one, just go pray about it immediately. Every time I meet a man, I start praying about him. God reveals it just that fast. That's how fast God is. He's so expeditious. He ain't it. He ain't it. Matter of fact, he's an assignment. I need you to do something else for him. Get that thought out your head because that ain't going to happen. So when you put yourself in position to work for God and do his business, your man is coming. Don't rush that and don't give up your body to have him. That's not necessary. And I can only tell you that at 44-year-old today who has been an idiot for 23, 27, 28 years. I just started getting wise in this aspect of my life. I just started realizing what I was worth. And I also realized that a lot of men don't know their worth, so they give it up so easily,
Yeah.
because they think that adding notches to their belt make them something that they're not, and they are also being sucked dry. It is a saying that if you're with the right woman, she will build you, but if you're with the wrong woman, she will kill you. And that
Yep.
is a spiritual thing, not naturally. She's spiritually gonna wear you completely out to the
Yep.
point that you cannot stand. Sir, is that of my father's business? No. And if you was playing with my daddy God, you would have the discernment to walk away. But instead, you chose to stay because you allowed your flesh to play.
Assignment. So this is the call to action. Men, I want you to, and I'm gonna put up a post about it this week. Look in the Bible and see how many women were not good women and how they impacted a man. And look at the lesson in that, because some were about ego, some were about not providing, some were about not being patient. So it was, each one had a different thing that this woman was capable of coming in and totally destroying this man. And sometimes it was using your body. It wasn't even a real reason she should have been able to have that type of power, but she did because you were not paying attention and you had all the warning signs. You allow her body to really take control. And then think about your own life and how you should protect yourself more. I tell the men in my family all the time, I can get pregnant once in 9 months. You could get somebody pregnant every day. Why are you not guarding your body the way that you should? You are actually a prized possession as well. And for them to have you in their life, because I know some really good men, and at the least they're going to take very good care of their children. And that is something that I stand on. But why would you want to spread yourself so thin or have to deal with a woman or a family that you don't like? You need to stop as well. You guys hold all the power in that space. And how many people you allow to be able to do that? The devil used Eve, and Adam was not protecting like he should have been. He was not paying attention. I don't know if he was jumping rope or playing hopscotch, but he wasn't paying attention. And he should have never left her. They were the only two. Why would you leave her? What reason did you have to leave her? But that's it. And so for the last one, Dating is the interview, marriage is the job. Think about it this way, because Dad said something that just gut punched me. Each time a relationship ends for a woman, I don't know how a man feels, but you can tell us in the comments, because my bestie didn't show up. He's still at therapy. He's at therapy. Um, every time he pours so much into a relationship, it's no different than analogies. I love analogies, especially with work, because money is important to people. You need it to survive. If you're at work and you fulfill your space there, you've tried it out, it does not work for you, you leave and find another job, you have a going away party, you put in your 2 week notice, people are happy to see you, made friends, you can come back if you need to, you haven't burned any bridges, you took what you learned and you're going to apply it at the next job, right? It was good for that season, right? If you are laid off, it hurts, because in some way you feel like that company lied to you. You gave everything you were supposed to and you didn't receive anything. If you don't perform well, even if you were fired for not performing well, there is still a hurt there. That is because things are out of order. It was unexpected. It wasn't something that you actually bargained for. But when you go in and you do it the right way, there is a greater chance and opportunity for you to leave feeling better. There is a reason why some people can leave a breakup and they're not upset. Or there's a reason why somebody will go on a couple dates with somebody and then you ask about them later and they're like, oh, it didn't work out. But I saw him in passing. Or you see him at the club and y'all can still go out there and dance. Or you see him with another girl and you're like, oh, hi, how are you? It's because you didn't bring more soul ties and drama into your life. You keeping your space clean. There is a reason why those things are important. And we all need to do better with doing them. Even when you're married, you got to make sure your space is clean. Because once marriage is the job, now you got to maintain that job. Now the real work starts. That was the part where you were just being your best self, your most authentic best self, and preparing. When you get married, now it goes into action. That's when the real work starts. That's why all the foundational things are so important. So when I say dating is marriage, this is the last thing. Dating is the interview and marriage is a job. What does that mean to you? And then we will wrap up.
Me? Oh, okay, great. I agree. Um, I totally agree because marriage takes a lot of work, and it has to be more than love. I really think that you guys confuse what this is. Can I run a business with you?
Mhm.
Can I listen to your point of view? Do I respect your train of thought?
Mm,
That's a right now thing. Because I have literally cut people off just for saying the right wrong thing to me at the right wrong time.
yeah,
Because what I need from you is to show me that I can trust and depend upon you.
right.
I've seen so many people burn bridges over something they thought was going to work out, all because they had sex 1 second too soon. And the very moment you give up that one thing that they're literally waiting on is the very moment they have no problem with revealing
Girl, they
themselves.
change, don't they?
Yes, and then you sit over here and say, well, at least I got it over with. No, because now you have given up another piece of you that you could have kept. I have
At
been,
least.
girl, for the last year, I have been dating peacefully.
Good.
I have been okay with the ghosting. Then a man said, hey, you know why they ghost you? Because most men only date women they can help.
I've heard.
Meaning, if the man doesn't see himself as being useful, the reason why nobody ever brought me nothing is because they never thought they needed to. I'm not slow at why nothing is happening. But I don't think that you understand that I want the man who volunteers to do it regardless of the need.
Right.
Because when you, I don't think about you being hungry. I know that you're hungry.
Right.
I don't think that you can't afford to go get you something to eat. I want you to have a healthy meal
That I cooked.
out my kitchen.
Mhm.
that I sprinkle my love on that I know you can't get nowhere else
Right.
because it's from me. That should mean something to you.
Right.
And I'm telling you again, only married men have been able to show me that I'm worth the wait, that I should wait. I'm being wise in waiting. That man, I cooked for him. He said, "Oh, here's $45 for my plate." Not because I asked for him a dime. I fed him because he did something for me. I was just being kind. The food was here. Y'all, if you know me, I'ma feed you. You
Right.
don't have to mean nothing to me for that.
Right.
Right? You just don't. I'm sorry. We all hungry. If I have an
Right.
abundance of food, I'm gonna share. But it was the principle of him knowing ain't no man here. No one's replacing this girl's food. And she doesn't owe me this meal. Let me show her that I can at least pay for the meal since I can't take her out to dinner. That ain't what we finna do. I can't appreciate her in that way.
Right.
I can't tear that ass up. I can't appreciate her in that way.
Right.
I'm going home to my wife, who she's also feeding. Because I'm her. I'm not here to play games with y'all in y'all marriages. I've learned my lesson. I don't play like that no more. That's dumb. That was dumb. Another dumb ass moment. I'm here to tell you growing is fundamental and growing pains hurt. And it is okay to have your feelings hurt and your heart broken, but it is not okay to be the dummy out there breaking it yourself.
Right.
Because
Intentionally over and over.
the issue that I am having is that you're ignoring the red flags of you should wait.
Right.
And I don't
Or
mean
not
wait
do it at
6 years
all.
in a relationship. I mean realize that that ain't for you and get the hell on and be okay being by
Right.
yourself. So that when you do come into a relationship, you can pour all of you into it. And you do not have to have a fear that that man is not here for you or that y'all are not working together. You see what I'm saying? You will know for a doubt that that is your friend and your well-being is his concern,
Right.
and he loves the Lord so much that you heard God tell you to wait on him. And so even if he does mess up, even if he does do it all backwards, it won't matter because you will be led by your father, which will not let you just go up shit's creek. There are signs and wonders. We have to respect it and start being fully armored. The word tells you these things. Armor yourself because you're prey, baby. You are prey. I made you slightly weaker but much seductive. So where you don't have to pick up your fist to fight, I need you to learn how to finesse without opening your legs.
On that note, we gonna pause right there because part two
I'm here for part two. When is that? Tomorrow?
tomorrow. Not learn how to finesse without opening your legs. Blood of Jesus.
Period.
That's gonna be a highlight of the clip, right? That's a whole word. Okay, so on that note, I don't have a closing because that's the closing for me. I'm gonna read the last two things, which will bridge us into tomorrow's show, which is going to be at 7 o'clock. We do have guests joining tomorrow. Oh my God.
Do you
Um,
need me back tomorrow or you got it?
I do. So tomorrow is blood of Jesus. Hold
Okay.
tomorrow is, give me just 1 second and I will tell you because I have to scroll down. Okay, so it's dating with intention, building respect, support, and partnership before marriage, which is what she said, learn how to do it without opening your legs. That's what she said. That's what she said. And she was talking to the ladies and holding them accountable. Let's see. That doesn't actually work in the man's favor all the time. But man, you need some help keeping you in line with what you should be doing because you should not be doing that either, unless it's your wife. But late, oh God. So the last two things in the clip anchors are: ladies, stop giving husbands privileges. Stop giving husband privileges to a man who hasn't paid the bride price, aka your commitment and your covenant, your paper, the one you sign, the one that's just a piece of paper. But it's funny, it's not just a piece of paper when you sign a job offer, a deed, a car, a credit card. None of that is just a piece of paper. Funny how we conveniently do shit and disrespect the Lord on purpose. Blasphemy. And brothers, cousins, my nephew, blood of Jesus, protect my nephew, because I don't want to be in the imprisonment for a female doing him wrong. Leadership is a responsibility, not control. If you're not married, you're not covering her yet. So those things she feels like you should cover, i.e., not going to the cheesecake factory or getting her hair and nails done or giving her gas to come on a date with you, don't do it if you don't want to. I actually vote against it. But that's just me. If you got it and you want to do it, by all means, if that's your love language.
Still
But to
don't do it.
feel the pressure, I just personally don't agree with it. Little things for birthdays, special occasion, those things are for those days, not just a regular routine of doing those things. You are not her covering. You don't owe her anything, all that. Well, you know, I got kids over here, and boo boo, so do you and your baby daddy. Y'all know y'all got kids over there. When you do something, then you're their wife. Don't do it. Don't do it. Y'all know she's saying that because I'm talking about her grandson. But anyway, whatever. So that is it. We will see you on Tuesday at 7 p.m. And then part 3 is going to be on Thursday at 7 p.m. I didn't do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday because Ro does her show on Wednesdays and she may be back this week. So that is it. If you have the next topic or series you want to discuss, I'm going to keep doing 3 parts. Please DM me. You can put it down below. You can inbox me. I actually reply to people that are not flirting with me. I reply to you all. So that is it. Make sure you follow Des. Where can you be followed, Des?
I can be followed at Desiree Wimbush on Facebook. I can be followed at Delicious Dilemmas 1-on-1 on YouTube. And I can be followed at Delicious Designs on Instagram as well.
So that is it. We will see you. Have a great night. And go pick up my journals on Amazon. Sounds like we're all going to need them when we're done. We need some
Yeah,
more healing.
right now, go ahead and forward that to me so I can go get mine. Thanks. Yeah, don't say nothing smart. Just do it.
Good night, guys. See,
Love you
submission.
guys.
It goes across the board. Learning when to be quiet. Stay on, Des. Don't hang up. Here we go. Bye. Good night.